Welcome to Drafting Unit 1, in which we will be talking about ISO language. In this unit, you will discover the importance of using plain language in standards and how to apply this principle in practice. Also, you will hear about the verbal forms used in ISO standards. The use of particular words and language is very important for conveying meaning in an ISO standard. The first rule to remember is to use plain language. This can be defined as a message written with the reader in mind and with the right tone of voice that is clear and concise. This principle is very relevant to ISO standards, which are functional documents first and foremost. The most important thing is that they are easy to understand. So don't worry about making sentences sound nice or using a variety of adjectives. Documents written in plain language save time and effort because they are quick and easy to read. They are also easier to prepare for the people writing the standard. Plain language helps to avoid misinterpretation. Think about it. If you're using a test method with potentially dangerous materials, it's important that you don't get confused by the language. Another key consideration is translation. ISO standards are used all over the world and often get translated into many different languages. By focusing on plain language, you can be sure your message is understood. It can also cut down on discussions around language, which can take up valuable time and resources. So how do you apply the principles of plain language in your standard? Well, start by thinking of your reader. Put yourself in their place. Can you easily understand the phrase or sentence you have written? Is there any ambiguity that could lead to misunderstanding? Keep your sentences concise and limit them to just one point or idea. Long sentences with lots of information have little impact and can confuse the reader. Be ruthless. Remove any unnecessary words and consider using lists and punctuation to break up the content. Here we have an example of a test report in an ISO standard. As you can see, it is written as one long sentence that requires real concentration in order to understand it. The easiest solution for this is to transform it into a list. As you can see, it's much easier to make sense of the information and follow the instructions. Now you know the principles of plain language, we must understand the verbal forms that are commonly used in ISO standards. In normal speech, you would think nothing of your casual use of the words should or can. But in an ISO standard, those words mean very specific things that can mean the difference between conforming to the standard or not. When specifying a requirement, use the word shall. For example, sampling shall be carried out in accordance with ISO 24333-2009 Clause 5. This means the user of the standard has to carry out sampling in accordance with that reference document without fail. If it were not a requirement, but still best practice, you would give a recommendation, which would be clear to the user by the use of the word should. So, sampling should be carried out according to ISO 24333-2009 Clause 5. In ISO standards, we also differentiate between permission, you may use other white colour containers if bowls are not available, and capability, warning, direct contact of iodine with skin can cause lesions. Always be clear about what is a requirement and what is a recommendation. When specifying requirements, don't use the word must. Must should only ever be used to express external constraints. For example, European legislation states that opaque eye protection must be used in some environments. Finally, remember that when you are referring to the document itself, you should always use this document. That way, the user knows you're referring to this document rather than any other reference document. For more information on this topic, or any aspect of drafting, visit the link to the drafting page given in the course information. Thank you.